Hello friends, I am Prashanth. Welcome to Research Your Food Knowledge platform. In this video, I am going to address the nutrition and health challenges of Indian students, basically adolescents of about 11 to 17 years of age. So this is specifically made for Indian adolescents. We have done the research of what are all the problems that students of this age are suffering from and what are the simple solutions that can be implemented in real life each and every day. Yes, specifically we made it for Indian adolescents, but it is very much valid for children from across the world, because if you look at the problems that children are facing across the world, more or less many of them are quite similar. Okay, so in this video we are going to talk about what are the major nutritional deficiencies that children are going through. For example, deficiencies like iron, vitamin A and D. And we are also going to talk about the obesity, the overweight pandemic that is there almost across the world, especially in case of children. And we are also going to give simple solutions, especially things like exercise and also deep breathing, especially for dealing with mental stress. Okay. So this presentation is going to be a little bit longer, but it will be very useful because we are covering almost all the problems, the food, nutrition, exercise and health problems being faced by children, adolescents basically. And these principles, majority of these principles very much applies to even adults also, right? So yes, this will be a bit longer, but try to watch the entire video so that you'll get a complete understanding of all the problems and all the simple solutions. So I hope, especially if you are from India, many of you can identify these three people. Okay, let me just go through them. The left person is Srinivasa Ramanujan. Okay, he's one of the most popular mathematicians from India, and the second one is Vikram Sarabhai. So he is the founder of Indian Space Research Organization that has sent missions like Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, And the third person, I think many of you can recognize this person even across the world, is Swami Vivekananda. Unfortunately, three of them had very early death. I think they should have lived a bit longer, so that they could have achieved much more in their life. So if you see, Srinivasa Ramanujan died at 32 years of age, and Vikram Sarabhai passed away with cardiac arrest. He died at 52 years of age. And Swami Vivekananda, throughout his life, he struggled with diabetes and asthma. Unfortunately, there were no medications for diabetes and asthma back then. So the thing is, why I am showing these slides is, these three people have done great things to the country and to the world. So the problem is, unfortunately, three of them had untimely death, very early death, and that too when they were at the peak of their career. Okay. So if you see Srinivasa Ramanujan, he was just by the age of 32 when he passed away. He already published more than 3900 results, okay, in mathematics that are still being used even today, right? And if you look at Vikram Sarabhai, he was the founding member of ISRO, as I said, Indian Space Research Organization, and he was also one of the founding members of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. That's the first IIM in India. And looking at Swami Vivekananda, I think many people can identify him and know the teachings that he had done. And I'm especially a very big fan of his personality development books. They were life-changing for me. So life is very precious, okay? And especially if we can prevent any diseases. For example, if you look at diabetes, hypertension, many cancers, obesity, many of these diseases can be very well prevented. They are preventable diseases right now. Back when those people were living their life, there was hardly any medication. I mean, there were very few medicines. There were very few, I think antibiotics were not even invented before 1920s. So the thing is, these people did not have many options, health related options. And the thing is, right now we have so many medications available, so many diagnostic tests available, so that you can prevent diseases from reaching to dangerous levels much before. Simple tests, by undergoing those simple blood tests also, you can actually know about health issues much before, many years before actually. So the thing is, life is very precious and we need to try our level best to prevent any kind of health problems possible, right? So that we can have a long, healthy and productive life, and the thing is, if you want to achieve anything in your life, if you want to do something great, health plays a very, very important role, because if you're constantly getting sick, if you're constantly suffering from health problems, it can be a very challenging task, because you need to deal with your health, and health affects your performance, your physical performance, your mental performance, right? So this video is all about preventing as many diseases as possible. And if you already have a disease, for example, if your child or if you as an adult are suffering from some health issues, we are going to see all the possible solutions with which we can either prevent or better manage those health issues, because prevention is at any point of time better than cure. Okay, so if we can prevent any health issue, we should try our level best to prevent it, right? Because once you have got the disease, yeah, you need to go to a kind of management kind of thing, that you just need to manage the disease more than you don't have the option to prevent it, and you need to probably take medicines, or you have to have significant lifestyle modifications, right? For example, if you are anybody that gets diabetes, so once the person is diabetic, the person has to use medications or need to make a lot of lifestyle modifications, reduce the consumption of sugary substances, and the diet has to be modified, right? So what we are trying to do here is to prevent as many problems as possible, and especially this age group, the adolescent age group is the perfect age to start something good. The reason for that is, actually, see, once a person reaches 40 years or 50 years, it is more difficult to implement, health related things that we are going to talk about, incorporating exercise in your daily life, and making modifications, diet modifications. These can be a bit more challenging once you become older and older, because you might have already formed a lot of bad habits by then. Forming habits, whether it is good or bad, takes time. Okay, and it is much better if you can form those good habits, simple habits but good habits at a young age. Okay, so that you are going to have the maximum benefit out of it. That is what we are going to do here. So now let's get into the presentation. So the first one is, this is one of the biggest problems that adolescents across the world are facing, and especially, the adolescents in Africa, South Asian countries, is iron deficiency. Okay, so iron deficiency is quite huge in adolescents, and especially in girls and women. Okay, so if you look at the World Health Organization data, so if you look at the age of 15 to 49 years, women, they have close to 30% deficiency. 30% of women of 15 to 45 years age are deficient in iron. So that is close to 1/3. Okay, that's a dangerous number, right? And if you look at the Indian numbers, for example, Indian adolescent girls, some studies say that it's more than 40%, and recently there was a study published that says the 66% of girl adolescents are deficient in iron. That's a huge number. Okay, and the problem is, iron deficiency affects us in many ways. It doesn't just affect us physically, it also affects mentally, which is a dangerous thing. So we are going to see what are the symptoms of iron deficiency, and try to observe these symptoms in a child that you have at your home, and even for yourself if you are an adult. So iron deficiency leads to fatigue, weakness, and also when the iron deficiency is very high, it can lead to impaired cognitive function. Iron is a micro mineral. Okay, we need it in very small amounts, but it is an essential mineral. That means we must provide iron to our body through our diet. There is no other way. So it can be through supplements also, but majorly we need to consume it, right? So the thing is, why does iron affect us physically and mentally? Because iron is a very important part of hemoglobin. I think many of you already know this. So hemoglobin is the one that gives our blood red color, right? So hemoglobin is a protein. So we have three types of cells in our blood. red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. So this hemoglobin is a very important part of red blood cells. So what happens is, for example, we are inhaling air, right? We are inhaling oxygen. So the oxygen that we are inhaling has to be transported to each and every cell of our body, because our cells need that oxygen, right? Without which they can't survive. So when the child is deficient in iron, the oxygen transport capacity, okay, of those red blood cells reduces. So what happens because of that is, for example, if there are two children who are playing a sport, let's assume one child is, sufficient in iron and the other child is deficient in iron. What happens is the child who is deficient in iron tend to get tired very fast. Why? Because the oxygen carrying capacity is lesser now, of red blood cells. So this oxygen is not being transferred to each and every cell in sufficient amounts. Because of that, what happens is the person gets tired very fast. There is lethargy, there is tiredness. Okay, and this also at extreme levels of iron deficiency, this also affects the mental performance of children. So what happens is, iron not only affects the physical abilities, the sports, exercise, any kind of physical abilities, it also affects their mental abilities. So what is the problem with mental abilities? These children are actually studying, right? They are at an educational institution. So it affects their education also. And again, education is related to, again, their future prospects in career, in life, or earning money. It is very, very important, right, in many parts of the world. So, but there are very, very simple solutions to prevent this iron deficiency, which I am going to talk about right now. So, iron deficiency especially is more severe in girl adolescents, okay? So, girls and women need to be very, very cautious about iron, and they need to consume all the foods that we are going to mention as much as possible, so that there won't be this iron deficiency problems, right? So, if you look at the iron rich foods, spinach, legumes, lentils, fortified cereals. So what are fortified cereals? If you look at Kellogg's cornflakes, cornflakes and different kinds of breakfast cereals, they have this fortification. I mean, naturally they may not have iron, but the iron is added to them, so that the children or whoever are consuming those breakfast cereals, they can get this iron also. And poultry products like chicken and eggs, they are also very good sources of iron. And one of the other reasons why in India this iron deficiency is huge is because many people in India are vegetarians, okay? And what I mean by that is, people even who consume non-vegetarian like meat, chicken and all these egg and many such things, they also don't consume these foods very frequently. People might be consuming these meat and animal based foods very occasionally, maybe once in a week or twice in a week. The problem with that is, see, we have two types of iron in food, okay? One is heme iron. Heme comes from hemoglobin, okay? One is heme iron, the second is non-heme iron. The problem is, in vegetarian foods, the form of iron that is there is non-heme iron. What happens because of that is, non-heme iron is not very well absorbed compared to heme iron. So if children or if adults, if women are consuming more of vegetarian food, there is a chance that the absorption is lower, okay? So because of that, what happens is, these people who consume mostly vegetarian food, they may be more likely to be deficient in iron. But there is a very, very simple solution, as you can see on the screen. So you can just add some vitamin C rich foods along with heme iron sources, okay? So if you still cannot consume heme iron, you can add vitamin C rich sources to your meal. What I mean by that? For example, if you are consuming spinach, okay, spinach is a vegetarian source of iron, right? So it has non-heme iron. What you can do is, in your meal, when you are consuming spinach, try to take anything, any food that has vitamin C, okay? What are the foods with vitamin C? Oranges, lime, lemon, mangoes, many peppers, bell peppers, many of them are rich in vitamin C. So the thing is, the absorption of non-heme iron that is there in vegetarian food increases because of this vitamin C, which is a very, very, very simple solution. But if you implement this solution, you won't have that iron deficiency problem. So I think the biggest problem in India, as I said, in terms of nutritional deficiencies is iron deficiency. And just to see how simple solutions are there to prevent this problem. So try your level best to incorporate these foods into your daily meal, so that you won't have this iron deficiency and your child also doesn't suffer with iron deficiency problems. So these are the foods, as you can see on the screen: the spinach, the poultry products like chicken, and these are pumpkin seeds. Okay, they are also very good sources of iron. Apricots, dried form of fruits, and legumes, chickpeas basically. These are very good sources of iron, and try your level best to consume these foods as much as possible, as frequently as possible, right? Now let's go to the next section. Along with iron is a mineral, okay, and if you look at the vitamins, the deficiency of vitamins in India, vitamin A deficiency is quite huge. You know, it is close to 20% of children are suffering from vitamin A deficiency. So why is this vitamin A important? Because it plays a very, very important role in eye health, okay, especially since many of these children are studying, right, at schools. So eye problems, extreme form of vitamin A deficiency can lead to night blindness also, and over a period of time it can also lead to immune problems. Many people know that vitamin A is important for eye health, but it also is required for other purposes such as immune function, fighting of diseases, infections, and it is also important for skin health. Okay, many people are not aware of this. So if you look at many youngsters, adolescents, they have a serious acne problems. Many people have it because the hormones are hyperactive, in that age. So what happens is many children face psychological problems also when they are constantly getting these acne pimples on skin, and they're sometimes bullied or make fun of or something like that. So what happens is, if the children, if you can feed more vitamin A rich foods to your child, so the chance of these problems can be resolved over a period of time. So what are the foods that are rich in vitamin A? Very simple: carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, mangoes. And I'm also going to show you in the next slide all the foods that are very rich in vitamin A. So in case of India, it is about close to 20% of children are suffering from vitamin A. But if you look at some other countries like African countries and many South Asian countries, the vitamin A deficiency is quite huge. Okay, it is very high in many of these countries. So which is already leading to eye related problems, immune related problems, and also skin problems. So try your level best to feed these foods to your child and for yourself also, because even adults also need vitamin A. So all the information that we are sharing here also applies to adults, because the vitamins, minerals, everything is same for adults as well as adolescents, right? The next thing is vitamin D deficiency. Okay, so vitamin D deficiency is also quite huge, and especially in India, close to half of adolescents, half of the children are already suffering from vitamin D deficiency or insufficiency. Okay, these are slightly two different terms. So why does this happen? Generally vitamin D is something that you can get through sunlight, right? If you expose your skin to sunlight, your skin itself makes vitamin D. But the reason why children are getting more and more deficient in vitamin D is most of the times these children are not, spending time outdoors. The sports or outdoor time is actually going down. Okay, this is also one of the reasons why children are suffering. And unfortunately, vitamin D is present in very, very few foods. If you look at vegetarian foods, it's almost not there, very less. You have vitamin D in fish, some form of oily fish, and egg yolks. The yellow portion of egg also has vitamin D, and there are very, very few sources actually. Sometimes in countries like Canada, the countries that are very close to northern pole, so there is very less sunlight, right, especially in winter. So in those countries, vitamin D is added to products like milk, and also some fortified cereals. Some foods also contain vitamin D. So it's always better, try your level best to get exposed. If you are in India, almost throughout the year we get sunlight quite a lot. So try your level best to make your skin exposed to sunlight for just about 15 to 20 minutes, right? That is enough for your skin to make it. So why is vitamin D important? Because it plays a very, very important role in bone health, right? And also muscle health. So what happens is, for example, especially for these demographic, I mean the children, adolescents, they're actually growing, right? At that age, they are growing their muscles, they're growing their bones. So what happens is, if for example, if your child is consuming calcium, okay, from various sources like milk and milk products and many other sources, but for that calcium to be absorbed into the bones, right, vitamin D is important. Okay, for example, if a child is taking good amount of calcium but not vitamin D, what happens is the calcium is not well absorbed into the bones. What happens because of that? The bones become fragile. Okay, for example, if you take a healthy child with a very good amount of vitamin D and calcium, and if you take a person who is very deficient in vitamin D, if they fall down, both of them, right, the person with vitamin D deficiency may break a bone, right, if it is extreme form, of course. So what happens is, this makes the bones very, very weak. Okay, so try your level best, if it is possible, try to get your skin exposed to sunlight so that your body itself makes the vitamin D. So in the next slide, we will see what are the sources of vitamin A. As you can see the liver, chicken liver, mutton liver, these are very good sources of vitamin A. Broccoli, sweet potato, eggs, carrots, but all these are very good sources of vitamin A. But they not only contain vitamin A, they also contain many other nutrients. For example, if you take carrots, they also contain many antioxidants, that can prevent aging, right? So eggs contain even iron, eggs contain protein, very good quality protein, especially in egg white, it's a highest quality protein. So try your level best to provide these foods to your children. Also consume yourself, because these things are same. Vitamin A is same for everybody. These sources work for everyone. Okay. If you take cheese is a very good source of vitamin A, but also a very good source of protein. Okay, high quality protein. So spinach luckily has both iron and vitamin A. So try to make spinach a part of your life so that you don't have to face these nutritional deficiencies. So across the world, the consumption of high calorie but low nutrient foods is increasing. So let's understand what is this high calorie, low nutrient. So calorie is a form of energy that a food has. Okay, the way you measure, for example, if you want to measure the length of a table, you measure in either millimeters or centimeters or meters, right? In the same way, calorie is a form of energy in a food. Okay, so what happens is, if you are consuming more and more calorie foods, high calorie foods, for example, pizzas, burgers, French fries, many fried products, many bakery products, baked goods, right? All these cakes, chocolates and biscuits, there are so many foods that are very high in calories. So what is, high in calories? So basically you will get the energy that you need with the calories, but the problem is you also need many nutrients. Okay, for example, in a day we need more than 40 nutrients, right? We need to get these nutrients. What are those nutrients? We need vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, K, and in B complex there are so many vitamins, vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B12, biotin. There are so many such vitamins. We also need many minerals, zinc, magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, iron. There are many such minerals and vitamins that we need on a daily basis. So what happens is, if you are consuming certain set of foods, right, especially the packaged or foods from the restaurants, mostly, things like burgers, pizzas that I mentioned already. So you will be getting calories, okay, you will be getting fat, you will be getting sodium, but most of the minerals and vitamins that I mentioned, you don't get them. Okay, so what happens is, since our stomach can fill only certain amount of food, right, we can't eat unlimited food, right? What happens is, every time you eat something unhealthy, okay, every time you eat something unhealthy, you don't have space to eat something healthy. As simple as that, right? So what is happening is, across the world, this consumption of high calorie, low nutrient foods is increasing. And as adults, if we are also consuming that kind of food, we also feed the same kind of food to our children. I mean, they get inspired from us, right? And unfortunately, this consumption is increasing across the world, and that is leading to a lot of health problems, right? So what is happening is, this is leading to obesity and overweight problems. For example, if you look at Indian numbers, So in India, close to 20% of children are either overweight or obese. In case of US, it has already crossed 22%. Okay, so that's a huge number. So this is also happening in many developed economies. And at the same time, there is one more problem. For example, if you look at India and in fact many other developing economies, there is double burden. Okay, what is happening is the relatively richer communities, people who can afford food, they are overeating, right? Overeating calories, energy. And the people who are very poor, people who are living in poor communities, they are not having sufficient food to eat. Okay, so these richer communities, people who can afford, they are suffering from malnutrition, right? And at the same time, I mean, these people are having more calories but low nutrients, the richer communities, whereas poorer communities, they are not having sufficient energy, they are also suffering from nutrient deficiencies. So this is a double burden, right? People are getting fat on one side, people are getting very thin, very low weight, low height on the other side. So it's a double burden actually. So what is the solution for that? I mean, making simple changes, the dietary modifications can actually significantly impact our weight problem, right? I have given this presentation to thousands of children already, and many times those children ask me, what are the healthy foods? I have actually given them a handout that says these are the foods you must eat and these are the foods that you must avoid. So what they were saying is, see, everything that we eat, the chocolates, biscuits, bread, bakery products, many of them were in the list where they should either avoid or minimize. So they were saying, then what are the options that we have? What are the healthy options that we can eat? But there's so many options actually. The only thing is that we don't look at them. We don't consciously think about them. Why? Because how many types of fruits are there? How many types of nuts are there? We have almonds, we have cashews, we have pistas, we have walnuts, we have macadamia nuts. I mean, there are so many different kinds of nuts and seeds. There's so many different kinds of dried fruits, the dried form of fruits. We have so many kinds of fresh vegetables that are available. All these are actually very healthy foods, right? And most of the times these are already ready to eat foods. I mean, you don't need any preparation, just need to wash an apple and you can eat, right? So there are actually so many options available. The only thing is that we are not looking at them. We are not consciously looking at them. Many times we think that it is easier to make noodles rather than eating, let's say, some nuts like almonds, right? But it's not actually, because you can just wash almonds and just eat them. Cashews, you don't even need to wash. You can directly eat. Banana, you can just eat it as it is. You can eat kiwis, you can eat oranges. So many options, apples. How many different variants of apples are there in the world? So the only thing is that we need to keep our mind open and we need to consciously think about the natural foods that are there so that we can consume them. The good thing is that we can get so many nutrients out of these natural food, because they are very rich in most of the natural fruits, vegetables, nuts. These are rich in so many vital nutrients that are necessary for us every day. Let's move on. So this is the slide that I show to all the students wherever I go and I ask them. So what can you guess the number of calories in an apple? If you take 100 grams of an apple, you can pause the video and just write, just guess, make a guess how many calories are there in 100 grams of an apple. So let's see, 100 grams of an apple contains 52 calories. Okay, that's on an average. But unfortunately, many of us eat these things more that are on the right side, the chips, the kurkure, the extruded snacks. Many of these things are consumed a lot and the consumption is constantly increasing, right, in many parts of the world. So the thing is, these kinds of foods have 10 times more calories, as you can see, and this is just an average number, right? If you look at some of the snacks, they might be consuming more calories than that also. So the thing is, if we are consuming potato chips, fried potato chips instead of natural food, so you are 10 times more likely to get those calories, higher calories, right? 10 times more likely to get overweight and obese. So what is the solution for that? As I said, try your level best to consume natural food as much as possible. And one more thing, right? For example, you want to consume potato chips. Okay, it's fine. Okay. What you can do is try to consume one natural food. Let's say eat 15 almonds and after that you try to eat potato chips, so that what you are trying to do is you are trying to fill your stomach with healthy food first, right? After that, okay, you can consume if you still have space in your stomach or if you still feel like eating. Because what happens is many times we consume unhealthy food because we are actually hungry. Okay, once you consume something, you don't have that same urge. Okay, so there are also many studies that say that people when they are very hungry, when we are very hungry, we tend to choose wrong foods. We tend to choose foods that are comforting, like high sugar, high salt, high fat, high calorie foods. So what is the solution for this? So the thing is, first of all, you don't make yourself too hungry, right? That is a simple solution. Try to eat something frequently. And at the same time, if you want to eat potato chips, right? Fine, I understand. I also eat potato chips occasionally. The only thing is, try to consume healthy food first, right? If you want to eat potato chips, eat an apple first and try to eat potato chips later. Eat an apple or eat an banana, orange, anything. Eat some nuts, eat some dried fruits like apricots. You can eat dates, raisins. There are so many options which are again ready to eat options. You don't need any preparation to eat most of these healthy foods. You don't need any preparation to eat cashews. They are already very tasty, right? So every time I show this slide to children, I have given this presentation to thousands of people already. So every time I show this apple, the number of calories in apple and the number of calories in these fried snacks, when they see the number of calories in these fried snacks, they're shocked actually, they're amazed, right? Because nobody knows, I mean, the difference in the calorie count, it's more than 10 times, right? Where is 52 and where is 545? So the thing is, it's all about making right choices in life, whether it is diet or whether it is career, anything else, right? So the next slide is, this is a very important slide that I explained to make people understand the importance of a calorie, okay? So this was my workout. Actually, the workout that I have done, it is an outdoor cycle workout. So I have taken my bicycle and I just went out of the city, just to do cycling. So this was, if you see the overall workout time is 43 minutes 31 seconds, okay? And the elapsed time is the total time, because what I do, or what in fact you also should do, is when you are exercising, okay, it's always better to take break at 10 to 15 minutes gap, okay? Once you have completed 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you can take gap for few minutes, okay? That is always suggested. So I was taking breaks in between. So I have done this 43 minutes and 31 seconds exercise workout, and I could burn actively, this is the data from Apple Watch, okay? So I could burn 331 calories, okay? Kilocalories or calories, food calories, okay? So why I'm showing this is a very hard workout, because the average heart rate, if you see, is 137. So it was a vigorous form of workout, okay? So the thing is, it takes about 1 hour of time, right? Total time to burn 331 calories, right? But the problem is, if you just eat a very small chips packet weighing maybe 60 to 70 grams, in India you can find that size chips packet for 20 rupees, okay? So the thing is, it takes hardly 5 minutes, maximum is 5 minutes, because it's a small packet, 60 70 grams, people can eat just like that when they're maybe watching some movie or something. It is very easy to consume calories, right? So, and it doesn't need much money also. I mean, 20 rupees is very less, right? So the problem is, it is so easy to get calories, but it is extremely difficult to burn those calories. As you can see, it takes 1 hour of effort, like 43 minutes is the exact workout and the total time is 1 hour. So it takes 1 hour to burn 331 calories, but it takes hardly 2 or 5 minutes to get back those calories. So we need to understand the importance of a calorie, right? If you don't understand, and if you keep eating, right, if we are consuming calories constantly, continuously, high calorie foods, it becomes impossible to burn those calories. In fact, that is how people put on weight, okay? As you consume more and more calories, and if you are not burning those calories, right, what happens is those calories, the energy that keeps on adding in the form of fat, right, over a period of time. So after some time, it becomes almost impossible to burn those calories, right? So try your level best to consume natural foods, and whenever you are consuming any kind of food, try to look at the calorie count, okay? For example, if you see the adolescents, the children from 11 to 17 years, that's a wide range, but typically a child of 15 years or 16 years who is relatively tall, the person has about 1400 to 1700 or 1800 calorie requirement per day. Okay. The reason why I'm saying such a huge difference is it depends on the height of the child, it depends on the weight, male or female, it depends on so many factors. So the total calorie needs are that 1400 to 1600 or 1600 to 1800 depending on the their height and weight, as I said. So the thing is, so if people are constantly consuming fried foods, the high calorie foods, the baked goods, so it becomes a habit also, right? The thing is, if you make bad habits when you are young, most likely those habits, you continue to have those habits as an adult also. So, and the problem is sometimes even when people are young, for example, adolescents are consuming a lot of energy, right? Since they're very active, they may burn those calories and they may still stay thin, okay? But as people age, the metabolism slows down, okay? And the thing is, as people get adults and as they get busier and busier in their lives, because adults go to work and they need to take care of a lot of responsibilities, have children, and they need to take care of their work, family, and everything, there is lesser time available. So what happens is, even if you are consuming the same amount of food as an adolescent, you may still put on weight because you are not that much active, right? Because most of the times, if you see the present jobs, majority of the jobs are like sitting in front of a computer. I mean, these kind of jobs are increasing. So you're basically sitting, you're working, but you're mostly sitting in front of a computer and working, which doesn't burn that many calories, right? That's going to be a problem. So this slide shows the importance of calories. So whenever you are consuming, whenever you are trying to buy any food product, right? If you are going to a retail store and trying to buy certain food product, just look at the number of calories, right? So you will understand actually how difficult it is to burn those calories when you are trying to burn them, right? So the next thing is skipping breakfast, right? So in India, many children, I mean, there are so many studies that say that children skip breakfast quite often. And when I was giving this presentation to children, I was asking them, why do you skip breakfast? So many people were saying that they were getting late to school, so they did not have time to eat, so they were just rushing to the school. So that's the reason why they skipped breakfast. The thing is, there are so many studies also that say that people who skip breakfast frequently, they tend to perform badly in their education, right? Why is that? Because if a child is skipping breakfast, for example, you might have consumed your dinner at 8 or 9 o'clock, right? Probably 8 or 9 o'clock the before day, yesterday, let's assume. So if you are skipping breakfast today, you might be having lunch, right, at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. So there is already some 15 to 16 hours of gap, right, in between. So for the brain to work, right, brain needs, like every other cell, the cells in brain also need oxygen and glucose. So people who skip breakfast frequently, they tend to have poor concentration levels. As you can see, they will also have low energy. And one of the problems with that is, people who skip breakfast, they tend to eat more during the rest of the day, and that to unhealthy choices, right? There are studies that report that. So try your level best not to not to send your child to school without having a breakfast, whatever it is, right? I mean, if the child is getting late, many times I give this suggestion to children that if you are getting late, I understand, try to get up 5 minutes before or 10 minutes before, but if you still can't do it, right, try to eat some banana, right? How much time does it take? Hardly 15 seconds. Try to take some fruit with you or just eat a fruit, right? You can eat some nuts, right? There are so many options in nuts and so many different kinds of dried fruits which take very little time. For eating 2 bananas, hardly it will take half minute or 1 minute, right? So try to consume something without consuming anything, without eating breakfast. Never ever go to breakfast. Even as an adult, you also should not do that. And if you are a child, you should never skip your breakfast, because as a child, you need many nutrients, right? Because you are actively growing, right? So if you skip a meal, it gets much more difficult for you to get those nutrients during the rest of the day, right? This can over a period of time lead to a lot of nutritional deficiencies and health issues, right? And as you can see on the screen, there are so many options. Whole grain cereals are there. You can search for whole grain cereal breakfast items, in the retail stores. You can consume fruits, you can consume milk, vegetables, dried fruits and nuts, and there are so many such options, right? And yes, balanced breakfast is important. So try your level best again not to consume unhealthy baked goods or unhealthy fried foods. Try to consume foods with nutrients more. So you can search online, and we also made many videos about different kinds of foods, right, that are consumed frequently, and what are the nutrients present in them, and what are those foods lacking in. So the next thing is physical and mental health. So this is very important, as I have been speaking about people getting overweight and obese. So physical activity in the form of especially exercise or sports plays a very important role in a child's health. Okay, so see, as per the World Health Organization, and in fact many other health authorities across the world, exercise has many more benefits beyond weight loss. Okay, the problem is many times people exercise, okay, let's say they are putting on weight, right? So they try to do some exercise, and if they are not losing weight, so they stop doing exercise thinking that, okay, exercise is not giving me any results, so why should I do it? But that's a very wrong approach, because exercise, sports can prevent more than 50 diseases. Okay, so the thing is, exercise is not only useful for your weight loss, it works depending on how you have your diet. As I said, I have been speaking about the calories, right? So if you are consuming too many calories and if you are still exercising, it doesn't work. You need to mix and match the perfect diet with exercise, right? But at the same time, exercise has so many physical, mental and psychological benefits. So if you want to learn more about that, just search online, right, in any search engine, the health benefits of physical activity or exercise. You can find so many hundreds of research articles on this. For children, for adolescents, the ideal time that they should aim is 60 minutes. So children should try to aim 1 hour of physical activity on most days of the week, right? They should aim it. Maybe if they cannot do it, even half an hour is fine, but it's better to do it for 1 hour. Whereas if you are an adult and if you want to keep your health in a better way, so try to aim for 30 minutes of physical activity, right, on most days of the week. So World Health Organization says that 2.5 hours, okay, it's 150 minutes of moderate level activity, right, in a week can actually prevent or better manage so many health problems, right? So try to make exercise a part of your life, and don't think that exercise, the only benefit that you're going to get from exercise is weight loss. No, that's a wrong approach. Exercise works as an equivalent to a medicine in case of anxiety, stress, right? It can prevent many health problems, physical health problems, many joint pains, back pain, and many of those things can be prevented or better managed by exercise, right? So exercise, make it a part of your life, and it will really change your life. I have been doing it for many years, and I can say with 100% confidence that exercise makes your life so much better. It has to be a part of your life, right? So yeah, the next thing that especially the children are going through, the psychological, mental pressures, because what happens is many times when children are studying, adolescents, they are in school or college, so they have been going through education, right? And especially if you look at India, the children are under extreme pressure, right? Many times because of academic reasons, and this is also happening in many other countries. The problem is, especially if you look at the brain of an adult, a properly grown adult and a child, there are some major differences. So human brain development keeps happening till 25 years of age. So what happens is, these children, adolescents, 11 to 17 years, 19 years, these teenagers, then their brain is not fully developed. And the problem is, the most important part of their brain, for example, the frontal lobes, the frontal lobes, which are the most rational parts of our brain, which think critically, right, which can solve problems. So these parts of the brain are not fully developed in children. That's the reason why children are more sensitive, they are more stressful, they can react, in a much different way compared to adults, right? When they are stressed, and that stress is much, it's going to have a much more effect on children compared to adults, right? Because their most important parts of brain are not fully developed, right? They are still developing, right? So, and whatever things that I have been speaking so far, consuming healthy food, exercise, all these things are going to have an impact on the brain development also, right? So if a child is eating proper food, exercising regularly, and is able to manage the stress levels, the health of that child, the brain health of the child is very, very good, right? If it is opposite, yeah, the child is going to suffer from brain related problems also. I mean, the psychological problems. And what are the simple solutions to manage stress? Just make, a habit of deep breathing, right? Meditation or deep breathing, what you call it. Just do it for 10 minutes a day, right? You have 24 hours in a day, and just try to make this habit, try to do it as much as possible, as many days as possible, I'm trying to say. So just do 10 minutes of this deep breathing, and it can have so much of impact, positive impact on your stress levels, right? So try to, as an adult, you should also be doing it, and if you're a child, you must try to do it, and it's very, very simple. So doing deep breathing is the simplest thing that you can ever do. And coming to the our platform, so I'm the founder of a food science and nutrition platform named Research Your Food. I think you have been watching it on our YouTube channel. So we have a website called researchyourfood.com, and our YouTube channel is Research Your Food. The unique thing about our platform is we are covering the entire lifespan of human beings and pets. For example, when a woman wants to become pregnant, right? When a woman wants to conceive, so what kind of food and nutrition that she should be taking so that the health of the baby is very, very good, right? Because that is very important, right? So from before birth to eternity, to till end of life, we are covering the entire lifespan of human beings as well as pets, cats and dogs right now. So sports nutrition, exercise nutrition, elderly nutrition. So we are covering the knowledge that can transition life of people across the world, right? So if you have time, try to go through our YouTube channel or website, and we have made many, many videos, and we continue to make content on these topics, the food, nutrition, the benefits of exercise, and basically preventive health care, right? So as you can see, these are the videos that we have made. Actually, we are continuing to make, and we have more than 135 videos right now on our platform. So you can watch when you are free if you are interested to learn more. So the information that we have spoken so far is taken from highly reputed sources like UNICEF, World Health Organization, Indian Journal of Pediatrics, and all these sources. And if you are interested, you can learn more about this topic. And the thing is, in the end, I would like to say that, see, health is very, very important because it plays an important role. It plays a very, very important role in each and every second of our life. It affects education. If your child is studying, it affects the education of the child. It affects the career. It affects the economy, right? If you're constantly getting sick, right? You need to visit, you need to take leaves, you need to visit hospitals, which you need to spend a lot of money on. So health actually affects every second that you are living in this world. So just investing little bit of time in your health can make a lot of difference. So I hope this presentation inspires you to take care of your health, and we also provided all the simple things that you can incorporate in your life so that you are going to prevent maximum number of diseases, and you are going to better manage your health. The thing is, I'm going to tell you in just 3 points the entire gist of this presentation. The first one is, try your level best to consume healthy foods as much as possible, right? I'm not saying you should consume 100% of your time the only best foods. That's not possible practically. So try to consume healthy food as much as possible. The fruits, vegetables, nuts, dried fruits, fish, these kind of things as much as possible, right? The second thing is, make exercise a part of your life, right? If it is children, adolescents, aim for 1 hour on most days of the week, and if it is adults, it's 30 minutes, right? Moderate level of activity, right? Moderate intensity activity, anything like running, walking, cycling, swimming. There's so many options, right? Even sports, right? Physical sports, not video games, right? So this is the second thing. And the third thing is, try to prioritize your mental health, right? Psychological health is very, very important, and it is very, very simple. Just try to incorporate 10 minutes of deep breathing session on regularly. On most days of the week. Try to do it, and I'm telling you, I'm implementing all of these things in my own life. and you can clearly feel the difference, and there is nothing difficult in this, right? So just incorporating these three things in your life can actually make your life so much better, right? And at the same time, if you think that I don't have time to do it, or I mean, many people say that we don't have time to do that. I mean, we are too busy. But the thing is, where there is a will, there is a way, right? If you really want to do it, I mean, if you really think that health is a priority, you can definitely find time to do these things. Not only, I mean, these things not only affect you, right, in a positive way, it also benefits your entire family, your society also. Because people who are healthy, right, the country or the nation that is healthy can perform much better. They can be much more efficient and effective in everything that they do, right? So thanks a lot for watching this video. If you have any questions, and you can just ask us through the comment section, and I hope to see you in my next video.